Alrighty. Get myself situated here so I can chat with everybody, and then we'll get going. All right. So I always tend to wind up with multiple projects to work on, and I get these ideas late at night of, oh, gee, what can I do? What would I do with this? Or um, just random thoughts. And so a couple nights ago, I guess it was 2 nights ago, I had this idea for wacky packages. Um, for those of you that remember those, they're kind of like Garbage Pail Kids, where you would have different brand packages like Bubble Yum or something like that, and it would make fun of it. It was a parody of that brand, so it would call something like Bubble Yuck, whatever. And so it'd have a funny photo or something associated with it, and it would just do this to all these different brands. It was a parody, but it was also like giving respect to those brands at the same time. So I had this idea for something called crazy covers or cracked covers. I haven't quite come up with the right name for it yet, but the first thing I thought of was taking Comicsgate and indie comics covers and making cards out of them, but doing parody cards. So, for instance, right here I've got Cyberlog instead of Cyberfrog, so it's going to be a cybernetic log with a frog standing on it. And what I want to try to do is take the essence of the character and try to keep it intact, but still make a joke out of the character. Um, I don't know how well this is going to go over. I think some people will think it's funny. I think some people might get a little offended. I don't know. But I'm going to go for it. Right now, I've got, I think, like 5 or 6 covers planned. I think I want to get up to about 20. If I can get up to 20 covers pulled together, I think I can do a full set of cards, like booster packs, where you have to buy multiple packs to get all the cards. I don't quite know yet. I think being able to get a complete set, I think, is better than um, not getting a set at all. Like having to buy multiple packs and then getting duplicates and all that kind of stuff seems kind of dumb or just annoying. For something as niche as this, I think just getting a whole set would be kind of fun. So I know a lot of those card collecting kit things, like the pages are 9 pages at a time. So maybe like, or sorry, 9 cards at a time. So maybe like 9, 18, maybe 9 cards per series. I don't know how I'm gonna approach it yet, but I want to make it worthwhile and maybe make it a Kickstarter or not a Kickstarter, but like a. I'd rather go Indiegogo if I'm going to do this. But the plan is to do the parody art on the front, and then turn around on the backside and actually have the good art, like in the small picture, just a reference. Something I haven't quite determined how I want to handle that yet, but just like a nod to the artist, original art by Ethan Van Sciver, or check out his campaign here, or something like that. Maybe list out how much money his campaign actually made. Something like that would just be kind of a nod to the creators and give them their props, but at the same time, kind of poke fun at them because everybody here needs to have a good sense of humor about all this stuff. And I think it would be fun. I've got a little bit of feedback from the people that I've shown the project to so far, and a lot of people have liked it. So I'm kind of thinking, yeah, this might work. And the cool part about this too is, depending on how I approach this and how well they're priced, and depending on what kind of pricing I can get from the card manufacturers, I could do this on a regular basis, like every 6 months, knock out 6 or 7 more covers or 9 covers, let's just say, and release a new set. At that particular time, so they're collectible over time. And I can take suggestions from people for which ones they want to see. Like right now, for sure, I want to do Cyberfrog, Lone Star, Jawbreakers, Graveyard Shift, um, Bigfoot Bill. There was a couple others I was thinking of doing, like Sovereign, I think was one. Um, I've still got to kind of go through that. I want to do black and white, but I haven't quite determined how I want to handle all those. So it's funny because it was one of those things that just kind of popped into my head, like while I was sitting just in the other room and I was like working on some code for work, and then like parody covers popped up. But anywho, what's up, Santa Raven? Lady Celtic Moon, how you guys doing? Yeah, so I think the 2 sets of 9 would be kind of cool. Again, it all depends on the production costs and like how much I want to attempt at one try. So I think the cool part would be well, the money part, background part is fun. Um, oh yeah, don't say how much money is in there. I gotcha. Yeah, I have to figure that part out. So there's still little things here. Like there's lots of data and stuff that I have from Indicron that I could use if I really wanted to. Um, Talking about the success of the campaigns would be kind of nice, but I haven't really decided how I want to present that particular portion of it. I just know that people like to make fun of each other. This whole community has been really good about having a good time with each other, and you know, uh, the humor side of things, it seems to be okay. Anyway, I've sent out the link to a few people. They may come in and join me. This right here that I'm showing on my screen right now is actually just the prototype that I did on my iPad. I was just messing around. My kid was at the doctor's office, and so I was throwing together a sketch and kind of illustrating it up and seeing what I could do with it. I want to take it a bit further, and actually today, what I want to try to do while I'm here is do a proper version of the logo and maybe start doing the real art here, because this right here is just a basic sample. Um, like I know I didn't get the colors right. I know I didn't get some of the other stuff right, so I need to pull up reference for the logo and try to match it up as close as I can. Okay, actually, let me pull it up real quick. If I can find a logo to match. And actually, what I would really like to do is maybe even try to copy the exact cover layout, like I don't know, maybe not. I'll have to see. Cyberfrog, Cyberfrog. He's got his logo. He's redrawn that logo a couple times, I think. I can't find like a definitive version of it. It seems to change between books here. Okay, well that's the Cyberfrog. Gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to recreate it. And it looks like it might be his handwriting, actually. What do you mean no, Durkin? Okay, that's not gonna work. I don't like that logo. Let's go back. Yeah, see that's the newest logo. It's a little bit different. He recreated it. You can see it's different on all these. All right, I'm just gonna take this image and work with it. You don't know no. You just know. Okay. All right, so let's do a couple things here. First up, let's go file new, and let's do like okay. I need a smaller brush. Do I have Alt locked in on my card? Let's see. Okay, let's right click. This is what button is this? This is nothing. Oh, okay, that's swapping my colors. Okay, and then got those guys. There we go. That's what I wanted. Sorry, I keep smacking my mic. Yeah, I'm just getting some reference colors so I can work with these when I go back over to the other art. Kyle does an amazing job with the colors here. Um, I'm tempted to ask him to help me color this, but I think it'd be more fun if I'm doing it. Yeah, I think he redraws the Cyberfrog logo a bunch of different ways, but I think I'm going to try to duplicate or replicate this one as much as possible since this is the latest one. I don't know how successful I'll be with it because it's pretty intricate, but you know, I can try. It doesn't look too difficult. I think the hardest part is actually going to be recreating the brush stroke kind of look and thickness and stuff. And I don't care if I don't get that close. I mean, as long as it's close enough, that's all I really care about. I'm just trying to make it kind of an homage. Okay, I think that's good for colors. Let's see. I don't think I need these because I'm not going to be using the chest. I'm just mostly using the metals. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna redo some of this. Also, the other thing too is I was thinking about this. I probably want to go and take a look at one of the pages he's done. I want to actually make this a swamp kind of scene. It's like the log is hanging out of the swamp. Let's see. So I've actually got some feedback. A particular artist that I know slash creator who will remain anonymous for now gave me a bunch of ideas for books as well, including his own. And so I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna see what happens. I think it could be a lot of fun. What am I doing? Let's go to Cyber Frog. There we go. Man, Kyle's colors are epic. As you may or may not have noticed, I dropped some ads on the bottom of the site. Yeah, I used a texture brush for sure. There's two different layers. I think you can see that there's a layer that's breaking up the background. So I'm gonna do the yellow text first in the brush, get that kind of refined, and then make that a separate layer. Uh, Transparency lock it, and then roll the gradient over the top of it, and then I'll do the outline. And then the outline, same thing. I'll transparency lock it temporarily, um, blast it with some like paint splatters and stuff, and then do some cracking and breaking on it and see what happens. But yeah, anyway, I was mentioning I dropped a few ads on the site. Actually, it's just one little ad block here that also has text. Um, the site really isn't making. I mean, it hasn't made any money. I don't charge anybody for it. I'd never charge anybody to be listed on it. Uh, but I've also been spending $20 a month or more just for hosting. Plus, I've been buying multiple books and stuff over the last last year. I'm at a couple grand, I think, at this point for supplies and time. And actually, geez, if I factored in my time, I'm probably in the hole about 50K. But anyway, I made 5 cents yesterday on ads. I know I'm not going to make much on ads, but we'll see what happens. I don't want to make them obtrusive, so or intrusive. So they're just like at the bottom of the site, and there's one in the main page that's in between the two sections, but nothing crazy. Anyway, I wanted to go to the Indiegogo and take a look at the pages real fast because I know he posted here. See, I like these colors a lot. Yeah, I could work with this actually. Maybe. I don't know. I guess the murky blue kind of water works. Anyway. What's up, Zayd? Durkin, yeah, $20 a month because we have a lot of data that gets pushed. I'm pushing, God, man, like gigs and gigs of data per month. Plus, I'm also, we average about 600 to 800 visits per day. I think I think it's about the average. The site's got a heavy back end system, and so it would slow down if I didn't have more resources on it. Anywho, all right. So I want to try doing this logo first. Let's take this layer, knock it back. Actually, I think I'm going to bring this over for now.
Cyberfrog, Cyberfrog.
Whatever a cyberfrog can.
Whatever a cyberfrog can't do, a cyberlug can.
Cyberlog sits around like a cyberlog.
You should make it like, it's cyberlog. It's log. It's log. It's fun for a girl and a boy.
All right, why is my screen freaking out? Oh, that would be why, because my top. Having two screens and then staring at my tablet while I'm trying to work does not help when my pop-ups show up on the other screen above me.
Hmm. So what's the news for the day?
Nothing yet, man. I'm just getting started here. Haven't really done a whole lot. Yeah, just trying to figure out how I want to proceed with the making fun of people. Let's see here. Okay, I'll pop on here.
Hoorah! Good morning, Lady Celtic.
I need to get a brush. A good brush. Let's see.
Why, is your hair out of place?
Yeah.
I figured, you know.
Ah, crap. I got my shortcuts all set up wrong on Photoshop. This is killing me. Okay, 1 second. Where's my Wacom desktop?
Are you coloring or are you grabbing colors?
I'm grabbing colors, but right now I'm actually getting ready to lay down brush strokes to recreate that logo.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to get a proper brush. But first things first, I need to get my tablet configured because my buttons are all out of whack.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see here. Okay. Cintiq. Let's go.
Well, I shared the first little rough image that Jose made of the very beginning antagonist last night. So that went over pretty well. Did a short explanation. A couple people asked me, like, what is it like? Is it like, ghouls and gas? Because it's called a ghoul, but they're like, is it like a ghoul and a gas from D&D? And I'm like, no. And then they really like the concept, and they're like, is that yours? I'm like, yeah, it's original.
Nice.
I am not a thief of ideas. And if I am, they're only the best ones.
There you go.
I wouldn't even know how to begin with coloring. Gee, like, speaking of coloring, what is his name? Praetorian?
He's good.
Lord, man.
He's good.
1 month. 1 month. He's professional level coloring. And you could tell right away he had an eye for it. I mean, right away. The first image, I was like, he's got something. And it was, that's pretty amazing. And then somebody sent him like a Cintiq Pro or something. And I mean, he just went to town.
Yeah, I don't think it's a Cintiq. I think it's an Intuos.
Intuos, I don't know. But somebody sent him something, and I mean, he just like went crazy on it. Praetorian on Twitter. He's one of the War Campaign, I believe. He seems to have kind of softened on the war campaign stuff, though. Like, it's funny. If you keep him coloring, he doesn't bother with war campaign, and as soon as he stops coloring, he starts yelling at people. I'm like, give him something to color, quick! You know. I mean, it's like, you know, music Seuss the Savage Beast, you know, coloring Seuss the Savage Beast.
Yeah. I think when people have positive stuff to work on, it tends to make things easier. Definitely.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we've talked about this, like, all this kind of dissemination and this sort of the vibe that's been going around lately, and it's kind of lame. I mean, even, you know, Edwin is trying to be like, he's had 3 days of basically giving a sermon on telling people to shut up and ignore people.
Yeah.
It's put it in a much nicer way than that, but that's basically what he said.
Yeah, that's true. Man, I don't have any brushes on this computer. And what's really bad is I'm in Photoshop CS3 on this one. Like my Mac, I've got CC running on here. I haven't spent the time to.
Isn't it Bridgewater? Okay, I'll have to find him. Hold on.
He's like leader 006 or something like that on Twitter.
Is it leader 06?
Or leader comics?
Oh, well, he's color therapy. That'll pull him up. Color therapy.
Yeah, I like the play on the name.
Yeah, instead of sketch, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm going to have to manipulate this brush. I think is what's going to have to happen here.
We're going to have to manipulate the brush.
Yes.
Do you have its permission? I mean, are you asking, or you're just going to go in there and just change things? I mean...
Yes, you know. Must change it.
Not terribly PC of you, man. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So have you seen all the like stacks and stacks? Like everybody keeps posting these like stacks of Captain Marvel, the video, you know, just came out, and it's like it's, you know, everybody keeps taking a picture because it's like full. Nobody wants the video.
Oh, jeez. That's
and they're blaming Alita for it. Like, for some reason, every female-led movie is blaming Alita for not being better.
God.
Dark Phoenix blamed Alita. Captain Marvel blamed Alita. It's all Alita's fault. If anything happens, damn Alita.
And Alita just bats her big old eyes at everybody. Like, what's up?
I didn't see the movie, but I mean, everybody said it was a lot better than the others.
Oh, you didn't see Alita? Really?
Mm-mm. I didn't see Alita. I wanted to, but it was like, by the time I wanted to see it, it was out of the theaters here, and they like instilled and inseminated freaking Captain Marvel into the theaters, like, you know.
Okay, this is killing me. Sorry.
Like a metastasized cancerous baby.
Yikes.
And they wouldn't let anybody do anything but look at that, and it was kind of annoying. It was like, oh man. So I went to see it with somebody, but I fell asleep.
Oh, God.
Dude, it's so boring. Like, she's, you know, she is what she is at the beginning, at the end. She just takes off a nicotine patch, and all of a sudden she's like, "Rawr, I am woman."
Yikes.
So I don't know. I you know, being a writer, like, I can't stand things like that when they're just like static and they're like, look, identitarian nonsense is plot. No, it's not.
Right.
You know, she taking off a nicotine patch and doing what she could have done the entire movie is not plot. It's convenience at best. It's like boring people. We've already lost 2 people. They just walked away. They're like, God, this dude.
Man, that dog guy talks way too much. Jeez.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, what the heck, man? Let's check out, like, it's kind of funny, like, you know, they took Tom King off Batman, and they put him on a series with Batman and Catwoman. It's like, oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. No, I take it back. I did. I remember.
We took him off of Batman. We put him on Batman. Yeah.
God. Yeah. No, thank you.
And everybody's like, cool.
Right.
I don't know. Like, I just, Tom King. I've already said my piece about him. He's not good. That Tom King guy, he's no good. Dude, Critias, he's no good. I'm gonna lay my piece down here. He's no good. Remember when he said about, was it Patton Oswalt?
Oh yeah.
So, is this where you're working on a Cyberlog, or
Yeah.
are we admitting that now?
Yeah, I'm admitting that I'm working on Cyberlog. I don't even care. I'm gonna go for it.
He's gonna hate you.
Well, I don't think he's gonna hate me. In fact, I think by the time they see the finished product, I think it's gonna be fun.
Okay.
I think people will dig it. Once I start crowdfunding it, people might get a little, I don't know, maybe upset. We'll see.
So, what did you think of the? Did you see the Batgirl or Batwoman trailer? The new Batwoman trailer?
Yeah, the part where she gives the chick money or something.
Yeah, she gives like the homeless girl money.
And then the guy tells her not to encourage them or
Yeah,
something, and
and
then
so
she
then
just
she
gives
gives
her
her
more.
something else. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what she gave her afterwards. I was like glancing at it, but I'm like, okay, well.
She gave her like a Rolex watch, like or a chronograph or something, some like amazing watch.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I was like, what the hell did she hand her? I wasn't paying that much attention to it. God, I can't get this line right. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid because it's like you'll just. I mean, it's either one of two things. He's like saying, "Oh, you'll encourage her and that'll make her better," and she's like, "Well, I'm gonna make her better," or she just does it to spite him. Either way, like my problem with it is that it's not a heroic thing to do because you're doing something in spite of authority because of yourself.
Right.
Like there's the end game there is a little messed up. Plus, like, I mean, how many times have we seen, that very person go off and do something, like go buy a gun or drugs or whatever, or she's part of a mafia that completely terrorizes people and,
Right.
like the Burrows and John Wick, you know what I mean? So it's like if the dude doesn't want her there and he watches that place every night, there's probably a reason. I doubt he cares if just some like like young teenage girl is panhandling. So unless he's been given problems with it. So I don't know. That was my issue with it, is that it was like in all these characters nowadays, like it just seems like this is a prevalent theme that I really dislike, is where it's not even an anti-hero. It's really a villain. Like that's something like Catwoman or Harley Quinn would do.
Yeah.
Because they're acting emotionally and for themselves, not in at the detriment of themselves. They're not sacrificing something to provide a betterment to society or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. They're just doing stuff to spite people.
So I don't know. That's why I got into this huge argument with I think it was God's Nerd, because she was like, you just don't like it because she's a girl. I'm like, no, that's not it.
I just don't like it because I don't like it.
Yeah, well, I mean, to her, to defend her, I mean, she was an SJW. She has a degree in psychology, and she's really big into topics about like psychology and mental health and that kind of thing. And so she fights pretty hard when people have a misnomer. When they say something is SJW and it's not, but they attack it like it is, because she's like, you're attacking the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
And her point about that, I get it. Her point about that is if we don't, we don't diagnose it correctly, then you don't treat the illness, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it keeps going. So, I get it, but sometimes like that is important.
Yeah.
And in this case, like they make that, it's not that I don't think she's a villain because she's a badass woman. I don't care. Like she was like, oh, she's like Spike or something from Buffy. And I'm like, well, Spike sacrificed still. Like he acted like a jerk, but when it came down to it, he did the right thing.
True. Can't believe we're referencing Buffy for
I know, right?
for comparisons.
Well, I mean, stories are stories, man.
Oh yeah, I know. It's actually kind of funny. I had an ex that loved Buffy. Like we'd have to watch Buffy every time I went over to her place.
I see.
Yeah.
Was there really any watching of Buffy?
Unfortunately, yes. That's
You're like, yeah.
yeah. We watched plenty of Buffy. Okay, what's
Have you
going
seen
on?
this ad that's going around from it looks like PETA or something, and there are these stupid people being branded?
No.
Oh my god, it's horrible. They're literally branding themselves in the middle of, it looks like, what, New York or some major city,
Oh God.
and then stuffing themselves into what looks like, like a wrapped up package, like you would find meat in a grocery store. And they put blood all over themselves, or it's paint. It looks like blood. I don't know.
Oh my
And
God.
then they stuff themselves, and they're really burning themselves. They are actually applying searing hot metal to their skin. And they're even tagging their ears
Good
like they
Lord.
do. I mean, when did people get so stupid?
Uh. Yeah.
I understand you don't like Trump. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Come on.
I mean, we've got bubonic plague. Freaking bubonic plague is back.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Bubonic plague. That's who's back. Back again. I mean, this is caused by crap.
Crap.
It's rat crap.
Yeah.
So the cities are so bad. And it's mostly California, it seems like. The cities are so bad and so infested with homeless and feces and, garbage that they've attracted so many rodents that they have reintroduced bubonic plague. And then you talk to them about it, and they're like, "But Trump,
Right. My Trumps.
but my impeach Trump," and it's like, Jesus,
Get a
I
grip.
don't get it. I don't get it, man.
I don't think anybody really gets it.
People are they've lost their mind, man. They've completely lost the plot. I don't even know if they had a plot. I mean, I understand, like, a lot of these kids were brought up in, like, the kind of blood and mire of social online media. They cut their teeth hating each other because they liked Sailor Mars over Sailor Mercury. Or they liked, this over that or whatever. What do you mean you don't want the brothers to have sex? You should die. Talking about Supernatural.
Oh, gotcha. I was like, okay.
You're like, dude, you lost me. So it's amazing though. I mean, but like they've brought that to the political arena now, and they really do have that kind of fervent, like, dichotomy. It's
Right.
binary. It's like you're this or that. That's it. And that's why, like, if you are at all to the right of their left, you're a Nazi or a racist or something. And I don't know, it's ridiculous. But that's why we're creating our own stuff, right?
Exactly. Cyberlog.
We gotta make a tagline, Cyberlog, Cyberlog does whatever. I don't know.
Cyberlog does.
Sounds like a Spider-Man kind of thing, but I don't know. We have to figure it out.
Yeah. There's definitely similarities between Cyberfrog and Spider-Man.
Oh, the poses are like, I mean, he might as well have ripped it from some McFarlane's.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the influence is obvious. I mean, it's pretty clear. So it's God.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, why is this brush not working?
It's not like I'm saying, oh, he's less of an artist because no, that's not what I'm saying. It's just, you can see that, and that's great.
Erase. I want to be the eraser. Yes, erase. Damn it, pin. Are you gonna
creating our own worlds. Absolutely. Do you have something? Are you a customer or a creator, Miss Moon?
I am a meat popsicle.
Ha ha, Fifth Element. I'm metaphysically wrinkle free. I guess I'm a little bit. I mean, I don't know. You know, I was listening to. I was paying attention last night. It was Martina was talking about. She came out all of a sudden, and I wrote a poem for it because it broke my heart. And when I feel for something, like, and my emotions just kind of take over, like that's what when I connect in that moment. Usually, the words just kind of fly, and that's when I write my best poetry. But she was. I don't know. She was having a moment. It seemed like where she felt abandoned, and I'm not sure why it was. I think it's. I don't think it had to do with Comicsgate or anything like that, but she just felt abandoned, and she started talking about these old emails, and she was like putting them up there, um, putting up these old emails and talking about how she had a business. She was on like billboards. She was everywhere, and someone within her company turned her in to a kind of gala oversight agency, and it ripped her life apart.
Really?
Yeah. Like, and a couple emails went out, and the next day she said she had just, a ton of notifications and cancellations that people just didn't want her all of a sudden because she supported Trump, and that they called her a transphobe and all these other things. And I was just like, holy crap. And what I got out of that was different than what other people got out of it. And I don't think people understood like what really, or one of the things that really hurt her,
Right.
which is that she was betrayed by people she thought were her family. Like, she came here as an immigrant and she had nothing, and she worked her way up, and she brought her sister and her mother over here and everything, and she was paying for all of them, and she was doing all that. And then these people betrayed her who she thought, were her loved ones. These people that she had helped make, like what I got out of what she was saying was that she had helped them be where they were. You know what I mean? She had lifted them up with her, and they betrayed her.
Oh, wow.
So I wrote this really quick. Like, when I felt that, I was like, I had a family not of my own, one that I made but didn't belong. I gave to them everything, all that I am, and they betrayed me down to the man. Would that I could close my heart and mind to forget their treason and leave them behind. But I can forgive neither myself or my family for dreaming so dark. And now every time I close my eyes, all I see is everything falling apart. A mask of the world, a disguise for the eyes. Nothing is simple, and it's all full of lies. And, I mean, I don't know, man. I think she sees like a lot of the pretension, and she gets angry when these people, she got destroyed because she as much as dared to say that she voted for Trump. But now there are these like quote unquote Trump grifters that are making money because they're going for Trump, and they're fake, and she just can't stand it. It just kills her, because she lost everything. But if she's out there, if you see her on Twitter or somewhere else, maybe say a nice word, a kind word. Send her like, hey, I heard what happened to you, and you're not abandoned, you're not alone. Don't make it sound like a Hallmark card, because everybody did last night and it was horrible. But sometimes a nice word can turn a frown into a smile. You know what I mean? You never know when just trying to be nice will make a difference. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, go be positive and cheerful and, make every person happy.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But, why increase the negativity? You know what I mean? Let's be positive. Let's make some positive changes. Let's be progressive. And I think that's what we're doing with, IndieCron and Indiescape and the next level, you know, is we're reaching out to people and trying to give them a different path. We're trying to do this a different way. And hopefully, we're going to grow this and make it so that it's something special.
Man, I hope this brush works inside of my version of Photoshop. I want to be bummed if it doesn't.
So you hope this thing works? Yeah, I do too, right?
Okay, where to go?
There's so many like unsung heroes in the community, you know what I mean? They just reach out and keep trying. Like Bean. Bean has bought everything. Like Bean spent like 20 grand on Comicsgate and people still give her shit. How you gonna give shit to Bean?
And I don't know how that works.
Like, I get it, she's opinionated and she's very strong-willed, but like, if you're a creator, get down on your knees and kiss that woman's feet. She deserves more respect in the community than she gets. And I'm going to say that. I don't care how she treats some of you. I don't care that she protects her friends that Ethan doesn't like. I don't care, because she does like what everybody else says. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, she supports everything with her hard work and her money. And you know what she does every morning? Every freaking morning that she's not like out, because she's very political, so sometimes she gets suspended. But every morning she always tells her friends good morning, and she reaches out to people, and she's cool as heck about it. And if you say good morning back to her, she'll respond. She'll be like, "How are you doing?"
Yeah. Oh, shit, that's a big brush.
So I don't know how you can dislike somebody like that. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Or like Nerd Wonder, Frugal. Marmaduke's a great guy. Marmaduke doesn't get as much love as he should.
Yeah, I like Marmaduke too. There's a lot of kind of unsung heroes that are out there talking people up, and
yeah, I mean, we need to get some of them on. I even like, quite honestly, even some of the older dudes that still kind of hold on to a different version of CG than we do, like Chevron, England Team. They're not bad people.
No, I never thought they were, honestly. I mean, what we've got is just a difference in opinion and how things were created, and who has, whatever, I don't want to say rights, but it's kind of the way it is. Like, who has the right to say they are what they are? And
yeah, it's sort of like, we have, in a way, like, there are some people that are like these like purists for CG, and they've kind of become like the purist of feminism, because feminism was supposed to be originally just a woman has her choice, right? Like, it's her choice. Whatever she wants to do, it's her choice. That's what it was supposed to be. But now it's turned into, you're too stupid to have your own choice. Let me tell you what your choice is.
okay, they want me to lock on my art since you're talking so much and I'm not showing my stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine, dude. I just don't talk. So when you're going on, here we go. There we go. So now people can see what I'm actually working on here.
So I just think that, together we can actually do something.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Together we might have a chance at this and make the community larger and reach out to more people and benefit, the creators. And like, you and I want to do, we want to facilitate the post process. You know what I mean? We want to help people. And I want to do, I mean, everybody so far has loved the idea of the ready to play.
Yeah.
Cal's always asking, he's like, what kind of game system? I'm going to look at this one. What about that one? I haven't had too much of a chance to talk to Chester, but I'm sure he'd love it too. Maybe Martina, so. Because she sometimes goes on smaller shows and everything. So she might even pop on here if we asked her to.
Yeah.
And she, she's such a great person. And I feel like she's so underutilized. She's brilliant. She's a brilliant political mind, a brilliant logical and scientific mind. And they like get her on and they're like, they just talk about, again, like, her plight. And then, I mean, she does have some, like, she had like Chase, like, cut her funds off.
Yeah.
Tried to cut her at the knees. I mean, she's had a hard time, you know what I mean? And I feel like she's had a much harder time than Ethan has, to be frank. But like, people are always like, oh, you know, look at poor Ethan being attacked by the SJWs. And I'm like, he gets yelled at on Twitter. This woman had her bank account stopped.
Yeah. I need like broken stuff.
Huh?
Oh, I'm thinking out loud. I need like full on debris, like broken crap.
Oh, you want to put like twigs and stuff in there or something?
Yeah, well, like for the logo, because so the logo, the way it works, it's got like debris and various stuff. Like if you let me go back to the logo here real quick.
Okay. Okay, what game are you guys talking about? Oh, I'm sorry. We're gonna do a segment once it gets going, called Ready to Play, and we want to do what's called a tabletop role-playing game. Think of it like Dungeons and Dragons, if you've ever seen anything like that. And what we're going to do is the backdrop for the game is going to be somebody's IP. So say like Sean Campbell was in, he could GM a story in the world of Ferryman.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I like it a lot, and I think that people could respond to it pretty well.
I think it's going to allow them to be creative, so they're going to get more into it. You know what I mean? They're going to get kind of excited, and it won't be just like a question answer process. You'd be like, oh well, why are we doing this?
Right. Yeah.
You know, and they're like, ooh, okay, we're going into the world of glory. Why is that? Oh, is it real? What's going on? You know. And then just whatever happens, and you're like, oh wow, that's really cool. Okay, that's a great concept or a different way of doing that. And so that'll be interesting, I think. And it'll be interesting to see what these guys come up with. She said, yeah, she's played for 20 plus years. Well, there you go. I mean, you can if you talk to them. If somebody wants just like a generic backdrop, like you just want to do like an urban D20 and play as like whatever in the Magic Cop world, or you just want, you know, I can do that. I mean, we can, you know, kind of finagle it. The whole idea is that I want to get people used to doing this sort of concept so that we can push making games from their IPs. You know, I want to be able to get like Model 316 enough money and clout to be able to become a contracted modeler for us so that we can do, say, like a miniatures game based on, you know, CG IPs.
Yeah.
Man, we were losing people like crazy. People just don't like us.
They just don't care. It's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're like, nah, that's good. I don't want to talk about gaming. They're like, what is this cyberlog crap you're doing here?
I thought I used to play again and got new dice, but have not used them yet. Oh man, I used to have so many dice.
I actually just threw away some dice.
They're all in storage, but
really?
Yeah, I mean, I still got, dude, I'm like old school. I got like the Crown Royal bag.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah.
You know, George had really cool because he plays D&D, and I think for like his nephew's birthday or something, he created a game and drew out a map and stuff for him, you know, because he's an awesome artist. And he made dice bags. He and his girlfriend or wife or whatever made dice bags for his nephew and his friends, and they were awesome looking.
Oh, right on. That's
like
cool.
He made them like the inside and outside mesh and color and texture matched whatever character it was. So like a wizard, you know, had a different color, and he drew like little like chibi figurine that attached to it.
Oh, right on.
I mean, I was like, dude, this is marketable.
Yeah.
I'm like, not only is this marketable, but it's
like
somewhat easily changeable. I was like, how much did you make these for? And he was like, I think he said like $8 to $10. And I'm like, you could easily sell these for $20.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
You know, I mean, if you wanted to, you could sell these things for $20. And I mean, I think people would buy. You took that to I think if you took that to a show, it would sell out in a day. Like a convention.
Yeah, probably. I mean, people are always looking for cool stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
ways to enhance their game and everything. And so like that gaming convention I was at, man, they had all kinds of crazy stuff for people to purchase that was like,
well, it's just
related to their
it's
characters.
personality. I mean, because that's what it is. Like you're invoking your personality into whatever this is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like whatever game it is. I mean, that's why you like miniatures. I mean, when I get a miniature, I always like that. That used to be like a ritual for me, man. Going out and buying a new miniature, like at the store.
Yeah.
I would spend hours like hunting just the right one. No, that's too much flash. Flash. Oh.
Too much flash. They need to clean that up a little bit more.
That's when like you're at a convention or something. Is you go to one of those places where everybody's fixing the miniatures and you go, oh, flash, and they all turn around and go, oh,
savior of the universe.
The first time someone did that, it was like a Rocky Horror. I was like, what? Like, this is a cult that I need to run away from.
My people.
Right? That was like, Kevin Smith says a lot of stupid crap, but that was one thing he said about a convention that I was like, yeah, this is totally true. Was it? Oh, no, it wasn't Kevin Smith. It was Wheaton. Or not,
Wheaton?
Whedon. Will
Wheaton. Whedon is him. Joss Whedon and
Joss Whedon. That's who it was. Joss Whedon. That's what I mean. The Buffy writer. Okay, but he said that he was like, yeah, he's like, the first time I went to a major convention, he was like, oh, my tribe at last, I have found thee. So, and I was like, yeah, I was kind of that way. The first convention I went to was like super small. Yeah. It was like just like a hotel. I still remember though. It was like, I'm dating myself here. Oh my God. But it was this dude in front of me. He owned a card shop. He had one of the original Black Rose from Magic the Gathering. The card is it's taken out of the game. You can't use it anymore, but it was like super valuable. And
Black Lotus?
Black Lotus. There you go. Black Lotus. And he's trying to show it to me, and I don't see it. Just tells you what I know about it. And he was like, look at this. And I remember him trying to impress me and my cousin, who were there, and we're like, uh-huh.
Cool, buddy.
And then, like, in the midst of this, like, two, LARPers were walking by us with their arms crossed, like they were invisible. And my cousin, he's a big redneck. He's like, what the hell are they doing? I was like, well, they're invisible. He's like, no, they're not. I see them.
Don't tell them.
They were getting all mad at him. And he's like, well, you're not.
All right. This doesn't have to be perfect. I tend to be anal about this stuff, but I think I'm going to leave it. I think that's good enough.
That's pretty good. Like, I mean, you're
going
to do like a shirt or something, right? Like, you're not going to make a comic or anything. It's just like for
not make it a comic, but I am going to make. I'm thinking about making cards. So, okay. Are you familiar with Wacky Packs or Wacky Packages?
No.
They were produced by Topps back in like the 70s, maybe even before that, early 70s, and they brought them back, I believe, in the 90s or early 2000s. They were a precursor to Garbage Pail Kids. And what they were, they would take original brands like Bubble Yum, for instance, and they'd make their own version of the logo, like Bubble Yuck or whatever, and then it would have some kind of joke to it or whatever. That's kind of what I'm going for. But so those were stickers, just like Garbage Pail Kids. They were little, like, sticker cards, and you could collect the cards, and you could pull the sticker off and do whatever you wanted to do with it. I'm thinking about doing the same approach, maybe not as stickers, but just as trading cards. And so you get a set of cards, and if I were to do this as a series, I could say 2019 series 1 or something like that, and it's just the first set of CG books, like wave 1 or something like that. And so
that'd be kind of cool.
It's like Cyberlog, Lone Star, where it's LOAN, so he's like a loan shark or something, or something like that.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something for Sovereign, but it's kind of a different.
Yeah,
there's nothing that just like immediately comes to mind, like Lone Star or something like that.
Yeah, Jaw Fakers, Graveyard Shit, and so like instead of being the skull logo for Graveyard Shift, it would be the poop emoji, for instance.
Oh wow!
And just things like that. You could totally do a bunch of cool stuff with it. So that's what I'm thinking about doing here is doing all these different card designs, kind of matching them up, and then like doing a little card set. And then so on the back of the cards, I would actually have the original real art or reference to the real art, and say, this character created by Ethan Van Sciver. Check him out here, or check out his instinct, whatever. I don't know how I want to approach that yet, but something like that, where I'm giving them credit, I'm kind of promoting them at the same time, talking about their product and stuff, and then continuing to show off stuff. I don't know. Lawbreakers are all in prison. That one's good too. I like that one. Lawbreakers
for jawbreakers.
They're all in prison. That could be fun. It could be Mark. Oh, dude, it could be Mark Wade.
Oh wow.
Lawbreakers, and like have the tortious interference. Like, oh, Henry, we're going there. Lawbreakers. It'll be Mark Wade with a tortious interference thing with like prison or something. Yeah, we're doing it.
Thank you very much, Ghost of Henry. We appreciate that. Now I got a paper for you to sign. No, I'm just kidding.
Ghost of Henry will like the one I've got for Bigfoot Bill. It's going to be Big Mouth Bill, and it's going to be Doug as Bigfoot Bill. Probably with his pink hair.
Big Mouth Bill.
Big Mouth Bill. Yeah.
Big Mouth Doug.
Well, I mean, Doug is Bill anyway, so yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, he's Earthworm Jim. He's kind of self-inserts everything.
Yeah, so we're thinking Big Mouth Bill. There's a bunch, dude. Red Rooster. So okay, I had two ideas for Red Rooster, and the first one involves somebody that we know that has a red face. And I was thinking he could be yelling at somebody. It's the Red Rooster, but then I'm like, no, I don't want to get into any type of spat there. So it would just be somebody, either like an old man in like the Red Rooster outfit, like yelling at people to get off his grass, or possibly do a play on words. So it's Red Rooster, where it's READ, and it's a rooster that has a ton of books around him. I don't know.
You got to do something for Battle Maiden Knuckle Bomb, like Battle Maid something.
Yeah. Yeah, like Battle Maiden Knuckle
Bomb. We'll give it some thought,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd actually be kind of cool then. And then you can just kind of continue it as you go.
Battle Maiden, Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden.
Battle Maiden.
Yeah, we'll have to play with it and see. But that's kind of where I'm going with it. Get all the cards pulled together. I want to do at least a set of 9 for the first series. Because like when you have those collectible sheets, like that you get for cards and stuff, usually there's 9 slots in those. And so 9 cards would slot in really easy. Fighting waifu thickness power poser. I like it.
Waifu thickness poser.
Battle Maiden Thunder Thighs. Or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, that's what she is. So that's not a parody.
I don't know. Waifu Maiden Battle Waifu Thunder Thighs or something. We'll get it figured out. She'll have like these massive thighs though. Like 4 times the size she currently has. It's just all thighs. I can see that happening. Okay, I need to go in here and get the blacks done on the outline now so I can be done with this logo. Actually, first up.
So what is your favorite of the recent like comics that's come out? The more recent
that have come out, or that are
the indie, the CG, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I just say indie, but
or the ones that are currently funding, that kind of thing.
That are currently funding, or the ones that are that I don't know about. I mean, that'd be fine too. You can talk about those.
So, wow. Shinobi Sasquatch.
Yeah,
I haven't read or seen much about it aside from the couple little pages that he's shown off, but the artwork is like the love child of David Finch and Splat, and I freaking love it. I love it.
What I love about Willis, and I said this in a message or a tweet, whatever. He's one of the few new artists that actually looks like he's different. You know what I mean? Like it looks like his and not just like a generic kind of a lot of hours spent on anatomy and shapes.
Right. It's definitely outside of the standard stuff we've been seeing come out of people. And I mean, there's
Hmm.
nothing wrong with that. What other people are doing, his just it pops. It's like when you look at a slew of the Marvel artists
Hmm.
back in the day, and
Yeah.
then McFarlane pops on the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's different, and it has its own signature. I mean, I'm
yeah,
not good enough to be able to break it down, aesthetically and tell you exactly what is being, what about the art sets it apart. But I just know that like when I look at that, I'm gonna be, oh, that's his.
yeah,
I mean, just like the thickness that he draws the characters with is on another level, but it's not out of symmetry or proportion. So it's like wow.
uh-huh.
I mean, you really feel the power in the jaws and this creature.
Yeah, yeah.
you know. So I think that is really good. And I don't know, it's kind of old schoolish, because like they've gone away from that, right? I mean, everybody looks like a waif now. They look, string bean, like a mic stand with a hat.
Yeah, proportions are definitely not as crazy. I think in
Mm-hmm.
some of these books. Uh, I am kind of curious though, because I mean, some of these guys are definitely looking at the influence of the '90s, like the stuff that Malin has done still
Mm-hmm.
has a lot of that '90s kind of aesthetic, but it's Liefeld aesthetic, so it's not like what is his name, Wills Prestaccio, when he was with Image. He's the guy that did
Mm-hmm.
Millworks.
Yeah,
His
that was
dudes,
so good.
yeah, his dudes had some heft to him, and you don't quite see that yet. It's coming. You're starting to see more artists kind of do more random stuff. I'm really liking the way that we have so many different styles and stuff happening here. George, his stuff that he's been doing lately, I like the painterly effect that he's got going on. I'm curious to see where he's going to go with his characters.
George is different because George doesn't think he's good, and I think he's probably could be one of the best
Yeah,
artists that we have, like period. Because what he does, I mean, do you see it? Like his sketches look like I, I don't even know how to explain it. It just looks like a bunch of scratch,
yeah,
and all
it's
of a
like, but
sudden he's got a face.
yeah, he's got that concept artist vibe going on when you see his work.
I mean,
Definitely.
he just puts the like, most people have to draw that shape, and maybe that's what it is most people draw that shape and then they put the shape within the shape, and he doesn't do that. He just knows where those lines go, so it looks at first like a just a bunch of lines, but then as he keeps adding lines, it's like, oh, that's a face.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's definitely a painterly type process because whenever
Mm-hmm.
painters work, they lay down the basic shapes and they start laying down some of the colors, and then all of a sudden, form starts being brought out once they start building up certain pieces. And he takes a very painterly approach to the way that he works, and that's just the way he works. It's his thing. But then he also has that cartoonist aesthetic to his work,
Mm-hmm.
which you got the more animated proportions. You've got
Big eyes,
yeah,
very big,
very big eyes,
expressive eyes.
uh, dynamic poses that wouldn't be capable of happening in a humanoid type character, but
Mm-hmm.
are well reflected inside of an animated type character. And he's
Mm-hmm.
getting it, he's nailing it, and I really like what he's doing.
It's different. It's different than anything that CG or anybody that I've seen has.
Yeah,
He's just got these just kind of, it's a different vibe, and I think it's more feminine, honestly. And he's not afraid to say that. Like he said, like he's writing it for girls.
yeah. Yeah, Comic Book Bob mentions Dan Frega. The cool thing about Dan is just sitting down with him and talking for a couple hours because him and I are friends. I've had the opportunity to pick his brain a lot, and I went to a special like engagement type thing where Kim Jong Gi was doing artwork live. I talked about this in the last stream too, but him and I sat there and just discussed technique and um, how he pictures things in his mind. And over time, he's explained to me like what he does. And there's this whole process called image streaming that he uses, where he will sit there and not do anything, just clear his head and picture the entire scene inside of his head before he ever puts a pen mark down.
Jeez.
And what he's doing the whole time is he's getting the idea for like the flow of the art and like where he wants the placement. And so he's got this whole spatial recognition like thing figured out in his head before he ever lays the pen down. And so he's just drawing what he sees in his head, like the actual scene. He's like, it's not even like, oh, I see a body here, I see a body there. It's like, no, I see a belt buckle there. I see, a strap here. I see a grain of wood on this door, like behind here where the doorknob is chrome. Like he has all of that in his head first, and then he lays it down. And I'm like, that's pretty awesome, Dan. You scare me. He just laughed. He goes, but it's the only way I can do it. It's like, it's the way my grandfather taught me. It works, this and this. And he goes, I've been developing this for years. And we talked a little bit about it with Kim Jung-gi too. He works in a very similar way. He pictures it in his head, but at first we thought he might have had like a photographic memory, because like some of these scenes he draws are just epic, but he's visited a lot of places and he's just done this kind of work for so long that he's able to pull these scenes out of his head somewhat.
It kind of reminds, I think that's the old school way of doing things, like in general. Like I actually I remember reading this story about these two engineers, and they got like they actually got shipwrecked, and they're like, what are we going to do? And this guy reaches over and they start to find like these pieces of a radio that start landing, from the plane. Pieces of the radio, like transistors and a resistor and all this. And he's like, well, can you build a radio? And one of them was like kind of joking, and he said, find me one piece and I'll build a radio around it, because that's how well he knew them.
Yeah.
He's like, find me one piece and I will build the radio around it. And that's I remember my dad telling me that, and he's being like, that's how you need to be. Like, you don't just, stick pin A into slot B. If you want to know, that time it was electrical engineering. He's like, that's how good you need to be.
Right.
And I don't know, like we have so many shortcuts now. Like, I mean, let's face it, like, the different templates and the different like, Photoshop apps and everything, like I was talking to Alejandro Mirabal last night, and I give him crap all the time. I totally. He's like, I don't know if I like where this is going.
He's a good sport, though, definitely.
Well, he didn't know that I was like blue collar, like and so he was. But we had a discussion last night. And I was like, dude, I'm blue collar. I come from a military family. I was like, if I give you crap, it's because I appreciate you are in some way. He's like, oh, okay, cool. He's like, I was a boat guy, so I get that. He's like, that's we screwed with each other on the ships all the time. And I'm like, yeah, it's just like that. So, we kind of bonded that way. But anyways, it was just funny because somebody had made this. He's like, man, look at you. Like you're drawing in, this super perspective fish lens.
Oh, yeah,
he's like, and he's like, and he laughed. He's like, haha, I used a template. It made it easy. And I'm like, isn't there an app for that? There's gotta be, because that's just math, And he was like, oh yeah, there are. He's like, there are Photoshop apps, but I'm too dumb to use them. And I was like, yeah, I don't think dumb is anything I would equate to you, but all right.
Yeah. All right, let's move that out of the way. Apply. I don't need that. I'll just move this up top. Right there. No. Okay, I don't think we need this frog anymore. We can get rid of that. Delete. Deleted. What time is it? 11:30. Okay, do about another 30 minutes, and I got to bounce.
All right. We'll probably run out of things to talk about anyway. I kind of like, I don't know. I'm so picky, because usually what I like more is the creators, instead of like I got Detective Deadlock. I've said it 100 times because of Hold on.
Critias?
Well, no, I just got something from work, so I was checking out real quick.
Oh, okay. All right, let's see what the chat's got to say. Would Cyberlog beat Man Thing? Good question. Depends on if Cyberlog is rooted or not. If you're just kind of sitting there floating, I think you get picked up and chucked. But Cyberlog really doesn't do anything. Cyberlog lets you sit on him. That's pretty much it. So I don't think Cyberlog has a whole lot of heroic versatility here. Okay. I think it's going to be in the swamp for sure. I need to figure out if I want to use the same type of log look, though, if I want to go a little more like swamp loggy. What do you think?
Yeah, you can see that.
I think Cyberlog is Bluetooth enabled. Let's see.
Bluetooth? What good is that going to do?
Yeah, I don't know.
It turns on when people come by, with their phone.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save this. I don't like drawing in Photoshop as much as I like drawing inside of Clip Studio. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to save the logo where it's at and move over to Clip Studio now. And we'll just turn you there. Then I want to scale this up some. Because this thing needs to eat a lot of the page.
Mm-hmm.
Cyberlog
does whatever a log can. So it just sits there.
It's just going to sit there, yeah. With a frog sitting on it, chilling.
All right, John, I like usually, like I said, from the creators. And so, I mean, I liked Critias. He just had a cool pitch and he was a cool guy. And he's just so, like, nondescript and kind of into his own thing. And I thought it was cool that I don't know, that he was trying so hard that, and that's another thing with, like Carlos Huerta and Sovereign. It's kind of the same thing, is that they kept trying. They were putting out comic books to like Image and, scripts and then everything to Image and everything. And they kept getting turned down. And Critias, like apparently almost had a movie deal at one point, and then that fell through.
Oh yeah, for like The Wraith or something like that. He was going to rewrite that, which is one of my favorite movies too.
Oh, I love that movie. It was, I don't know. It's so simple, but it's so good. So, but yeah, I mean, it was just all that kind of stuff. And it was just like, wow, okay. But then that he would, he came at it and, he put together this comic book. And it was, I mean, I don't think it's I do think it's an original concept. I don't think it's like, the concept itself would not have got me.
His passion for the project was what really pulled me into
him selling it. His charisma is what got me into it. And then, like I've said and I got Lady Alchemy, and that was just because I just like Martina kind of fascinates me. Not because she's beautiful. I could care less about that. Because she's a scientist. No, because she's a scientist. Like she went to school for science.
Right.
She went to school for science. And she got a 4-year degree and a hard science, but she expresses herself artistically.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why?
Why?
Yeah, well, I mean, usually if you're logical, then that's how you express yourself logically, right? But I mean, she expresses herself in an artistic sense, and I'm like, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Why? And then you go look at like some of her videos and stuff, and it's crazy. Like, I mean, she has, she literally like breaks down alchemical formulas mathematically, and then creates some sort of weird dance to represent that, and you're like, what the heck? Like,
I wasn't aware that was how she worked her thing.
Wow.
That sounds really awesome, actually.
Yeah, that's what she go look at her like her Facebook and stuff, man. Like she does, like she has these alchemical formulas like pura vitae or something or aqua vitae,
Mm-hmm.
and then she'll break it down mathematically in the description, and then she actually has this whole like little video of like a presentation. It kind of explaining it with her as a specific chemical or catalyst, you know, and I'm just like, okay. I don't think 98% of the people are getting this, but they just think you're hot.
That's next level right there.
You know. But to the few that do, like it makes sense, and there's a reason for everything she does in the video. And I'm just like, okay, she's brilliant. I want to see what her comic's about. Like it sounds simple,
Right.
you know, but I bet you there's more to it. And so I'm just interested. I'm like, I want to see that. I want to know what that's about. Show me, you know what I mean? Like show me the inner workings of your crazy mind. Let's go for it. You know, Carlos, you know, says, Huerta. I'm sure I'm doing a horrible disservice, so I'm sorry, sir, if you heard me and hate it. But he does, you know, Sovereign, and
It's
I don't know, I
Andrew.
mean,
Andrew
huh?
Huerta. Andrew Huerta.
Andrew. Okay, Andrew Huerta, I'm sorry. But he did, see, even more reason to hate me. He did like a lot. I mean, he talked, you know, I mean, he made a whole game. It looks like Sovereign is actually a video game to me.
It feels like a major pitch for like a game or
Yeah, well, I mean, because like when I
or a
first saw it, like
movie.
he had all these characters, and he's like, "This is the boss, and this is that," and you know, like I mean, that's what it seemed like to me. Like these were like fighting statistics, and this is like a fighting game or something.
Yeah.
But it's so good, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I don't know how good of a storyteller he is, but the art is amazing. I mean, it seems like he's one of those guys that's smarter than you would think, because everybody keeps talking. You know, it's kind of funny. Like you get all these SJWs and everything, and they come at him and they want to put him down, and he just like slams them. But he slams them in like an intelligent way. Like
Yeah.
they bring something up and they don't think he knows about it, and he knows like exactly what it is. And then they just kind of go and backtrack the entire conversation. So you know, he's another one that I backed today. I thought I don't, I mean, I'm not, again, like the whole sovereign concept. I'm like, but he interests me. You know, I'm interested in what like the Brettweisers are coming up with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they seem like they're going to take Mary Muse, which is their kind of company, their LLC, and make that into a complete press with Red Rooster and I think it's Sarah. Is it Sarah? No, I can't remember. You know, this thing with Blake, and then Kelsey's got like a couple of projects, and Mitch Geist with the Futurists. I mean, they look like they have an entire line coming.
Yeah.
Like 7 to 8 comic books, it seems like.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me too.
So they're gonna hit hard.
Yeah, they've got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe that nobody is gonna expect, I think, and it's just gonna.
I mean, I gotta admit, I gave him some major hell because like every time anybody said his comic book was late, he just showed a picture of his wife for like a year. It's like, when is Red Rooster coming out? Here's Elizabeth. Everybody's like, okay. Here's Elizabeth in a bikini in, you know, Tahiti. Okay.
Here's my cat.
You know, but he was a good steward with what he was given.
Yeah.
From what I can see now. I mean, yeah, he would, you know, like there was that, but it looks like that was because he was taking all that money and doing something with it.
Yeah,
And
he was building something behind the scenes to get
he
things
took that. He also, like, if you go and look at like their Instagram and everything, he did stuff like he and Elizabeth volunteered at like a local, like a community college art program or something, or art school.
Yeah.
Like a class that was for comic books. Like they volunteered and they went there and, you know, like taught them some things. I mean, how amazing would that be if you're like, you know, you're paying $1,200 for a class and like, you know, Mitch and Elizabeth come there.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, like one of the best colorists in the world and friggin' Captain America artist here.
And you're like, okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay attention here. Definitely gonna pay attention.
You know. So, I mean, it's not like, you know, and then they were doing stuff for like HBO and things too with their other company. But I mean, they even got the guy that was, I mean, whatever they have must be really compelling because, you know, the person that his friend that was, you know, the CEO of his other company or CFO, I think it was CFO, um, he may like comics, but he wasn't into comics and he gave up his job to help these guys, you know, with this new dream. So, I mean, they're going all in, they're anteing up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the anime. It's like an anime, you know. What is it? You know, they're going United States of Smash right now. So I don't know. And they went and got like really good talent, like Kelsey and Blake and some hidden guy that they don't want to show. Mitch Geis, right? Is one of
Butch
them.
guys.
Butch Geis. Who
Yeah.
else? I think it was it that we know of.
Yeah. Pixel Trader.
Are you part of their group?
Not yet.
You're like,
Working
I
on
want to be. Just
I
a
want.
second.
I've thrown myself at him. I'm like, hey, you
You
know,
throw yourself at
in the nicest way though. I was like, hey guys, if you need help with anything, I'm here. Web design, graphic design, artist.
Mm.
Not like my talent is worthwhile, but you know.
So you want to be a fluffer for Blake? That's what you're telling me.
I mean, if I have to be.
I always flirt with Blake, and she flirts back sometimes. And we had this thing the other day, and they were like, everybody was like, "Who is this guy?" And I was like, "Blake and I have an understanding. I write poetry and say weird shit, and she lets me get away with it." Yep. And she said something like, "That's true. We have that agreement in writing." And I thought it was funny because you know we do now.
Yeah. You're sitting at home printing that out and filing it somewhere. So
see, you told me I could do this.
Put it in a safe deposit box so when you get arrested for it, you're like, no, she said. Keep that on archive.org just in case.
But regardless, like I think they're doing, I don't know, I think they're being tremendous stewards. I mean, they've taken that 175, 180, whatever it is now, and they're turning it into an empire.
Yeah.
You know, they're turning it into like an entire press, like I don't know how big it's going to be, but I mean, I mean, I know they have like 4 comics at least. And I'm betting they have more like 8 to 10. I think they're coming out with a whole line all at once.
Yeah.
It's going to drop it on everybody, be like, boom, what's up? Where's your Cyber Frog now?
Well, I have a feeling, it's just a gut feeling here that they're doing pretty much what everybody's been asking for. They've already made arrangements with the printer. They're probably working out the distribution side of stuff at the moment too. I have a feeling that there's going to be an actual like comic company that sprouts out of this that will be a independent, basically like an Image. No, maybe not Image specifically, but like kind of like what we were trying to do with in comics, where it's a steward for other books, and we'll have services set up to enable other people.
I don't know if they're going to do that. I think they just want to grow they want to build something where they are. And I think it's in Arkansas.
Yeah, they want to bring this industry to them.
Yeah, I think they want a business in Arkansas is what I believe, because like the printing, I got the feeling that like that printing place was like there or not far.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty close.
So I believe that that's what they're doing, is they want to bring business to Arkansas, which makes sense, being like the kind of people they are. Like that makes sense to me.
Yeah,
that's what they would want to do. You know, is create like a press in Arkansas and create jobs in Arkansas. You know, I mean, technically the other guys could work remotely. They just, they could scan it and send it in,
Right, yeah.
And Blake doesn't need to move from Canada unless she wants to. I'm surprised they got her though. I mean, she's a she's an interesting person because she's got a pretty decent. I mean, she's got like something like 250,000 people between all of her social media. She
Mhm.
said, so she has no problem selling anything on her own, but they were able to, acquire her to do that. So I'm either to me, what that means is the story must have caught her attention.
Right.
You know, that looks more like a spider web log.
Well, it will until you get the metal in it, just like his stuff. Once you get the metal streaks and stuff in, it will look better. I just need to clean up these
Or
little
like a strange creature trying to escape a blanket.
Yeah, basically.
It's like that's the critical snail being like swallowed by a blanket. And it's all like, "Ah, freedom."
All right, we'll just take this.
I think if the new books, maybe, I don't know. Ardana seems a little cheesecake to me.
Which one?
Ardana. Kaya seems pretty good. The anime from Cardinal.
Yeah.
Looks interesting. Looks like it's been well thought out. There's a lot of characters, a lot of stuff going on. Monster MD.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We got so sidetracked we forgot to keep going there. Yeah, Monster MD is definitely.
I don't know what I think about Monster MD yet.
I'm totally in on Monster MD.
I think it looks cool.
I like the concept. I like the fact that he's fixing monsters and all that kind of stuff.
I just think it's one of those things where it's going to depend on what the story behind the story is. Because the basic story is he's a monster that fixes monsters.
Yeah.
So that's the basic story. Is that like, and I kind of get the sort of more existential take on it, which is that he's a monster on the inside and a human on the outside. Like he looks like they feel.
Getting deep, Doc.
Yeah. So I get that, but I'm like, okay, that's going to be tough to pull off. So I want to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole thing with like Constantine, if you think about it. Constantine is more demonic than the demons he fights.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's going to be interesting to see how he pulls it off. I don't know. But I mean, Cal, who is a good writer and and that's the difference. I don't know. Like, I can't see anything more than like satire and kind of cartoony stuff with Monster MD.
Well, and that's kind of what it is, though.
I see the writing in Shinobi Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I see it, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I haven't seen a word, but I see the writing because of the panels and the structure and how everything is. I mean, it's subtle, but it's there, and I'm like, wow, okay, this is good. I want to know. I want to know more.
Right.
And I mean, he and I were even talking. He's like, Tom King is not a good writer. So not a good writer. He's like, so much of a good writer is being subtle. And it's like, I know, right? I don't want to feel like I'm hit over the head with a baseball bat of irony every day.
Oh man.
He said you're going the wrong way with the idea of Monster MD. I've read quite a bit of it because it's available on a website. Okay. I'm just giving my opinion.
All good. We'll get it soon. People will enjoy it or not, and we'll see what happens. But I like the idea. I like the concept. I like the team behind it. So yeah, I don't know.
I don't know any other people besides him. Was it Von Klaus?
Yeah, Von Klaus. Yeah, I can't remember his artist name now, but
he's good.
Yeah.
It's mainly a situational comedy, and that's kind of what I was afraid of. Is that it's just sort of a monster of the week on every page.
And I'm fine with that. I think there's too many serious takes in books. It's kind of nice just to have a kind of slapstick, silly kind of thing happening.
I think, I mean, that's fine. You know, it's just there's different strokes for different folks. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, that's one of the things that a former person used to say that I agree with is that you write for both. You know, you write for the kind of more simple understanding, but you also have the underlying meaning that other people can pick up, so that they're both interested. I mean, my book, you know, Sins of the Fae is going to have a ton of like awesome action and bombastic, you know, characters and doing great poses and all this other kind of stuff. But it also has like deep existential meaning if you want to look for it.
Right.
Hello, Pope Fire. It's good to see you.
What's up, Pope? Pope Fire! She asked me to like re-record the song that I sang for her a year ago.
She'd like to see a Starfire drawn. Of course she would. She wanted you to record a song? What? Like Kumbaya?
No, I had sang like a little like Pope Fire theme song or something. She had told me something to say one time while we were on stream, and like I kind of sang it, and then she needed it for something, but I didn't know where it was, and she's like, "Well, re-record it." I'm like, I don't even remember what the lyrics were. Anyway.
The heck?
What's up?
I don't know. Just something popped up on my screen. I thought it was kind of weird.
Oh. What in the hell? Oh.
I know, right? What the hell?
Bobby.
Something's wrong with that boy. Yeah, Lady Celtic Moon's always here. I don't know how she puts up with all of us.
I don't know either.
She's a glutton for punishment.
Right. She's like, I keep hoping Pixel's actually going to do something cool here, but it hasn't happened yet. All right, 11:52. We got a few more minutes, and then we got to get out of here. I got my boss hitting me up saying, "Hey, can you look into this for me?" Yes, I can.
Yeah, I got something I got to look into as well. So
cool. All right, dog. Why don't you start? Where can people find you?
Where can people find me? You can find me on really it's just Twitter right now. For it's at Dr. Wright is in. If you want to give me a DM or just talk to me, that's fine. I'm always fighting the good fight and telling people how stupid they are.
All right, that works. Like, Pixel, you're an idiot. What are you doing? You fool. And let's see. I'm where am I? I'm Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. All of them are Pixel Trader. I happen to be working on a little site called IndieCron that tracks campaigns. I'm working on a little project called Indie Focused, which should have launched already, but we are taking our sweet time. What else do I got going on? I've got this art project here that I'm currently referring to as Cracked Covers or Crazy Covers. I can't decide on which one I want to use yet, but it's a parody project of independent comic covers, and will be coming hopefully before the end of the summer, if I decide I actually want to do this, which I think I do. Beyond that, that's pretty much it. Oh, we do have In Comics, which we're pushing right now, which is this channel. So since you're here, you obviously saw it, you found a link, you did something, please share it out to your friends. We do have more content coming to this channel at a later date. It's not just going to be me and Doc sitting around talking all the time. We have some review stuff we want to do. We have other creators that are interested in being on the channel. So please do your part to share this out and support us. Also, because I have tickets for Comic-Con, I will be going to Comic-Con at least 2, maybe 3 days this year. Maybe all 4. It all depends on how busy it is. I want to stream while I'm there. The only problem is I have to have 1,000 subs on this channel in order to do that. Right now, I think we have around 30. So we have like less than a month before Comic-Con starts. I don't know if we can hit 1,000 subs, but if we can, I will stream from Comic-Con, or at least try to. So get that info out there, have people help us get those numbers up, and I will do what I can to stream from Comic-Con. But with that said, thank you guys for coming out and spending time with us. All 4 of us are disappointed right now, guys. Okay, well, I'm sorry you're disappointed, Pope.
Why are you disappointed?
Disappointed there's not more Pope Fire.
What about Facebook? Oh, she wants Starfire. That's why.
There will be no Pope Fire, no Starfire.
What if we do a parody of Starfire?
Starfire doesn't have a book. Well, Starfire has a book, but Pope Fire doesn't have a book.
You could just do like a Starfire. It's just a star on fire.
On fire.
That's Starfire. Okay, bye.
Starfire. Yeah, could do that. All right, we're out of here, guys.
She's gonna be like, I am not amused. This is what
I hate you, Pope, in the best of ways. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I'll catch you soon.
Peace out.
Later.